gonna do? And I was like, I fucking knew it, bitch. Hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi, my name is Alexis Jayda and welcome. Today's notification shout out goes to Andrea Sanchez. Hey love, thank you so much for all the love and I hope your day gets better. Besos. So if you guys want to be the next notification shout out, all you have to do is turn your notifications on, subscribe, and like the video. And when I go live, make sure you guys comment so that you can maybe be the next story time notification shout out. Oh my gosh, that was like super duper long. That wasn't even need to be long. All right, so we did another poll. I asked you guys if you guys wanted to see when I beat up the babysitter, or if you guys wanted to see the other catfish story, and you guys said you guys wanted to see when I had to get crazy because you guys are a bunch of chismosas. So you guys wanted me to do my makeup and talk to you guys about it, so I thought that was freaking awesome because you guys know I love makeup. So I'm not going to tell you guys like each product that I use, like, oh, this one, this one, this one. I will link it down below. So if you guys are curious what I'm using and stuff, it'll all be linked down below. I always link everything, so always make sure to check it out down below. Let's get started. All right, so this story time takes place a long time ago. So you guys know, or if you guys don't know, I am a mama of 6 beautiful babies. At the time of the story, I had only had 4, okay? Which still lie. Well, I had 4 babies, and me and the hubby were both working at the time, and we needed to leave our baby at the daycare because baby's family couldn't watch the babies and my family couldn't watch the babies. So I'm not knocking daycare centers or anything like that, or people who babysit from out of their home or anything like that, but I hated this place. I freaking hated this place. So this place was ran by a mom and her 2 daughters. I knew one of the daughters, so we would leave our babies there. I would go to work. Every time I would leave them, I freaking hated it. So I'm gonna give you guys a backstory before we get down to the backstory. The babe has always liked dressing the babies in really like nice clothes and stuff, like name brand, like Jordan, Nike, that kind of stuff. He just likes doing that. There's nothing wrong with it. There's some people who like it, some people who don't. Anyways, besides the point. So I would dress the babies up in the clothes that babe would buy because why not? We would take them. It was pretty okay. Like at first it was pretty okay taking them and stuff. There wasn't really that many problems. When you would take them to this house slash place, and I say house because it literally was like a house and stuff, you had to enter a code. They would buzz you in, you would go in, and they had like cameras set up everywhere. They had like a good sized fish tank. You go, you sign in, like, okay, like, oh, this baby goes here. So Giovanni would have to go like in, let's say example, room number 1. The 2 other babies would have to go in like room 3, 4, and so forth, okay? So they all were assigned to like a different room and everything because they are different ages. I remember Andres and Angelica, they were in the same room because they're only like a year and like 7 days apart. But I know for sure Giovanni had the stepsister. Things were going okay. I would pack their stuff. I would take them, get them ready. Sometimes I would go early and, you know, just kind of talk to them because these are people who are going to be taking care of your babies. So you kind of want to talk to them, make sure you like, you know, they're treating your kids right and stuff, because I have always felt and have always been told and stuff, no one is going to treat your babies better than you. And there is those rare people who are freaking amazing, who love other people's kids and who will never do harm, you know. But we live in a really effed up world, so I would just go a little bit early, just kind of see how they would interact with like the other people's children and just see things. I started noticing that I didn't really like how they would talk sometimes. Like they were just really, I guess like in a way like kind of like ghetto, like the way they would just like handle things or they would talk and stuff. Like, I don't know, I feel like they didn't really treat it like if it was like a professional setting. And that's just one thing. I get it, like if you want to like hee-haw and act like we're cool and stuff, okay, cool, whatever. But I feel like there comes a place, there's a time and a place for everything, and it just wasn't the time and it wasn't the place. Maybe because it was 6 in the morning, I don't freaking know. But I just wasn't having it. We were getting along pretty all right. Go in, hey, how are you doing? Ask how everything was. Good. The stepsister always had like a freaking attitude. Again, I didn't really get along with that one because she just had a stink ass attitude. She was younger than her sister, which is who I knew through a mutual friend, and we're still cool, by the way. Me and the sister are still cool, by the way, but the stepsister still hate her. And I don't even like using the word hate, but I really don't. I really dislike her. So she always had an attitude, like always. Every time I would like check in, sign in, go give her diaper bag, she would just grab it in a way that I really freaking hated. Like, you know when you hand someone something and they like either yank it or they just like grab it very rudely? I didn't like it, and I hate to act out of character when I'm around my kids. I freaking hate it. And I know a lot of you guys get upset about that because you guys are like, no, that is not okay. You gotta like check them there, and then like if it gets to that level, okay, I will. But I really try my hardest not to, because I used to hate it when my mom would like go off in front of me because I get kind of scared, you know. So anyways, she would grab it a certain way and I just didn't like it. There was other moms too who would try to avoid her as much as they could. Even though their baby had to go in her room, they just avoided her. Like, they would go and give the diaper to like the other girls that were there, or like the sister that was there. They would avoid her. She was really, really good with Giovanni. Like, Giovanni liked going with her, so I wasn't worried like she was doing something stupid with my kid or anything like that, okay? So, this little girl just had like an attitude all the time. And when Rudy had to take them, she would always just like have her little like, oh, like, I hate when people just hate to see people happy and they just like, you know, just want to put things in your head, or I didn't like it. And she didn't like how me and Rudy were happy. She found out that Andres and Angelica weren't Rudy's and stuff. She was like, that's weird.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
She just had her little comments of, oh, well, I hope it lasts, because not most men, you know, want to take on responsibility of another child, let alone two. And I'd be like, okay, well, you worry about yours and I'll worry about mine. And we would just have like our, you know, our kind of like just like bitchy attitude like that. So we didn't like each other. And it was just like weird tension like that, like all the time. And her sister would just always say like, oh, she's just, that's just how she is. She was born mad. She's gonna die mad. She's always mad. That's why she can't keep a man. And her sister would make these comments in front of her, and they would go back and forth like, shut up, bitch, you know, and just talk to each other, whatever. And there is people, even till this day, that I know that are like, oh yeah, my sister's just like that. She's just a bitch, whatever. And I get that. Okay, cool, whatever. But again, you're running a freaking daycare. You think you would act right, especially because it's just, it doesn't look good. It looks ghetto, like it really does. And then I'm like, you know what, maybe it's my fault, because made her too comfortable, and that's why she thinks that like, oh, it's okay to act this way. And I just didn't like it. We didn't like each other. She had her stupid comments about Rudy. She would have her little comments here and there, and she would always talk smack about me bringing Giovanni in, like his cute little baby Jordan outfits and stuff, that he was just gonna outgrow them, and if he was, since he's the last one, that it was just a waste of money. And I was like, well, it's a waste of my money, so don't even trip, don't even worry about it. And so Giovanni was transitioning into like baby food, so he was having a little bit of accidents here and there. So she started telling me like, hey, can you bring an extra pair of clothes for him, so if he soils them, I can just change them, there's no problem. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, thanks for letting me know, appreciate it. Because one time I did pick him up and he was wearing someone else's outfit, like it was either like someone else's outfit, or it was just like the daycare outfit that they had, you know, like how they have like extras and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, like what happened? She's like, the food, the Gerber food just kind of hit him a little hard. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Changed them, took them back the next day, washed them, gave them back, no problem. Gave them back, no problem, because it's not an issue. So I started doing this, and she would put the clothes that he like, you know, soiled in the diaper bag, and it would be like with she would just like put it in a bag and it would be soiled, whatever. And so I started noticing this started happening a lot. And I was like, what the heck? Like, he's just like just pooping himself like nonstop like that. Like, that's crazy. So I started bringing it up to her like, you know what? It's fine. Maybe it's too harsh on his panza and stuff. Like, maybe I'll try something else. And she was like, no, like, you know, it's just completely normal. There's just like a lot of kids and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. And at the time, like, her room, she only had Giovanni, and I think she had like 2 other kids, but they weren't even full day like Giovanni. And I was like you know, like, you know, like they're pooping and stuff, like, okay, like I'm gonna get ahead of it, so like he's not gonna sit in it, because it would be when I would wash the clothes and stuff that she would put in the diaper bag, it would be like if it was his pants and then his shirt like all the way up, like if he was just laying in his poop and she just let him like that, you know. So I was like, so that kind of was getting me upset, and I started talking to her mother about it, because her mom is the one who owns the daycare or is like in charge of their home daycare, whatever, you know. Started talking to her about it, and she's like, yeah, I'll let her know, because she does slack a little bit, like, you know, she waits a little bit and stuff because she thinks they're not finished, whatever. Like, she doesn't change them right away because she's like, oh, they're not done yet. And I'm like, okay. Time goes on, things are getting a little bit better. I'm like, okay, cool. I hear that one of her friends is gonna start taking her baby to the daycare. I was like, oh, that's cool. And she's like, yeah, you know, I'm pretty excited about it. She was, sometimes she had a good attitude and sometimes she didn't. I kind of hate that, because it's so annoying, like where you have to kind of walk on eggshells with somebody because they're like in a mood or whatever. Like, it's annoying. I get it, people have their off days, but I hate it like when people just kind of have like that mood changer, like, holy crap, like you really like you really just that angry, like what the heck, what is going on? She would be in good moods, I loved it, and then she'd be in bad moods where I would just try to avoid her because I was just not having it. And I hated working at this call center that I was at, because that was drama alone. You guys know I hated that call center. She starts telling me about this friend. She's like all excited. She's like, yeah, she has a little baby. He's like the same age as Gio. And I'm like, oh, how cute. And I was asking her like, you know, just questions like, you ever want to be a mom and stuff? She's like, no, I just like want to spoil the babies and everything, get them what they need, get them what they want. I just want to be like the coolest Thea, whatever. And I should have been paying really, really close attention, because you know when people talk too much and they give you too much info? She was one of those. She wanted to give this little baby everything. He was Giovanni's age. So I'm listening. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Yeah, whatever. I usually give people 3 chances, 3 strikes. I know that sounds so stupid and it's like, what? But no, I really do. I give people 3 chances. Sometimes I give more because I'm a pendeja estúpida. You know how I told you I just like to pop in and check, because I feel like sometimes you just never know how people are when you're turning your back, or they start getting used to a schedule of seeing you pop in here and there, so they get comfortable. So Giovanni is supposed to be in room number 1. I pop in like a whole hour early, and you know what, you just know your baby's cries. I walk in, punch my number in, and what was cool about this, you can just punch your number in. Sometimes they would have to buzz you in, and sometimes you can just punch your number in and you can just walk in, because the mom thought it was cool to tell everyone you can just punch your number in, walk in, and you can just check on your babies whenever. So trying to make us feel comfortable, like we ain't ever gonna do some dumb shit, whatever. So punch in the code, I walk in. Now that I think about it, not safe, because what if I knew someone's cold, walked in and just took someone's baby? But I guess like since the people who are with the babies are in the back with the babies in the room, but what if they weren't? But that's just me thinking like, what if, and thank God nothing bad happened. But anyways, I walk and I can hear my baby's cry. And the whole time I'm walking, I'm like, no, that can't be my baby. Like, no, like, why is he crying like that? So I walk in the back and I just see my baby on his back and he's crying. And he's turning like that, and I can see shit all up on the back. And so right away I walk over to him, and no one is coming. Walk over to him, I pick him up, and he just has like poop all over him. And so I'm like, okay. There's another little girl and she's crying too. She's really, really fussy. And I can hear some chatter, and I can hear, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And so I'm changing my baby. And then it's not even the stepsister. It's somebody else that watches the babies too. She comes in and she's like shaking the bottle and stuff, like getting it ready. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that you were going to get off early. I'm so sorry. And then I'm like, why is he wet? Why not even wet? Why is he pooped all the way up his back? And she's like, oh, we just fed him not that long ago. He must have been he must have just barely finished. And I'm like, no, he's been finished. And so I was like talking to her because it was like crusted a little bit like on his back. You know when you can see like dry poop? Well, he had that. And so I was like talking to her with an attitude because I was just mad, like what the hell? And the little girl, she was changing the little girl, her diaper was like full. And I was like, what the fuck? Like what the hell? And she was like, oh, it's because there was just a couple of babies that were sick and stuff, so we've been short staffed, blah 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 blah. They're just giving me excuses left and right. And I'm like, you know what, maybe it's true, it happens, whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's just you with the babies today? She was like, yeah, like I said, like we were short staffed because some of us had to go with the babies over there because like they're sick, da 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 da. And so I'm like, okay. And so I'm like changing Gio, and I'm like, where's his bag? She's like, oh, it's right here. So I go to grab his clothes because remember, I've been packing extra clothes for him. And then I noticed that his outfit was in there. And I'm like, where's his outfit? And she's like, oh, I forgot he got it dirty earlier. Next time, can you bring two changes of clothes and stuff, two outfits to change? And I'm like, so he was pooped like this twice? And she's like, yeah, the food, he just really likes that Gerber, blah 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 blah. And so I'm like getting annoyed because I'm like, what the hell? Like this isn't normal for him to poop like that much twice, whatever, you know, like them not to be on it like that. So I'm like getting annoyed with her. And so I ask her, like, is there anything for me to take him in, because he's just straight up like booty naked at this point with his diaper on. And so she gives me an outfit from them, and it's just like the regular like Gerber baby shirts. Is it even Gerber baby shirts? It's just a plain baby Gerber shirt. So she gives me that. So she apologizes. I'm like, don't even worry. And so as I'm walking out, the stepsister walks in, and she has this little baby, and he has an outfit that my Giovanni has. And I was like, oh, how cute. Giovanni has that outfit. She was like, yeah, it's Giovanni's. I'm like, why is he wearing Giovanni's outfit? Oh, we got the diaper bags confused. Don't worry, girl. I'll wash it and I'll have it ready for you tomorrow. And I look back at the other girl because remember she told me that Giovanni had already pooped twice. Had already pooped, and that's why they didn't have his outfit, remember? So I'm like, what the hell? Okay, so I look back at the other girl and I'm just like, something's not right. Something's not right. And when your gut is talking to you, listen. It's not always chorro. So I walk out, I get the rest of my babies, go home. And in my head, the whole time I'm like annoyed. I'm not annoyed because the baby wasn't wearing the outfit. Of course I'm not mad at the baby. I'm mad because I felt like something was just off. And I'm like, oh hell no. Like, what the heck is going on? I don't like that they confused the diaper bags. I don't like this girl has an attitude all the time. I don't like that he was crying by himself. Who knows how long he was crying? She probably heard me talking, try to play it off. You know, I'm just like trying to think about all these things in my head. Something's off and I know it. So go home, do our normal routine, wash the shirt that Giovanni is wearing so I can take it back tomorrow. And I packed Giovanni 2 outfits because remember she said, can you pack 2 outfits just in case because of the accidents he's been having? Which I'm mad at because I'm like, he shouldn't be having that many accidents to begin with. Next day rolls around. I take the babies, go in early. I give them the clothes, the onesie that they let me use. Said thank you, I washed it. Here you go. And then I asked her like, do you have Giovanni's outfit so I can take it home so that I don't forget? Blah blah blah, because that ain't cheap. And so as I'm talking to her, she's like, oh yeah, let me go in the back and let me grab it. And then I see the little baby that was wearing Giovanni's outfit. I see him. He has on some really nice, cute little Jordan shoes, and I'm like, oh how cute. He's all cute, all did up. His mom's there. I'm like, oh, hey, hi. You know, I introduce myself. She's hugging her baby. And before she leaves, she tells the stepsister, I'm not going to give her her name. That's how I don't like her. She tells her, hey, thanks for the outfit yesterday. My man liked it. So cute. You're always spoiling this boy. So I don't think anything of it at the time. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm still waiting on Giovanni's outfit that little boy had on yesterday, right? So I'm waiting. She's going in the bag. She's talking to that girl like, oh yeah, like, you know, I always spoil them, everything for my god babies, blah 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 blah. And so I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. She's taking so long to get the outfit. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go, I gotta clock in. She's like, oh no, it's fine, like I'll have it in his diaper bag when you pick him up later on today. I'm like, okay, cool. Say bye to my other babies, check on them, make sure they know that I see like, okay, mommy's here, okay, like they're having a good time, they're feeding them breakfast. So I go to work, continue my day. I call in, check on the babies. I always do, just in case they're fussy, and just so that these people know too that I'm always checking on my babies. Sometimes I would even pop up on my break and stuff, or Rudy would, just to go in. Rudy's the type of dad where he just pops up in school too. He would eat breakfast with babies, just so that the teachers know, everyone knows, like we're here, we're very involved. Hey, hello, what's up? So I go and I'm going to pick up the babies. I go pick up Andrew. Things are going good in his area. So his area is like room number 4 and stuff. So Giovanni's the last and first. So I go and I pick up Giovanni. I grab his diaper bag. And I notice he's wearing a different freaking outfit again. And I'm like, what the heck? So I'm talking to stepsister and I'm like, hey, what happened? She's like, oh no, he just had a little accident. He threw up and stuff. So I just wanted to change him so he wouldn't sit in it. He wouldn't smell like it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I packed two outfits in there. She's like, no, you didn't. You only packed 1. I'm like, no, I'm sure I packed 2. She's like, no, I didn't see 2 outfits. All I saw was 1. She's like, no, you only brought 1 outfit. So I'm like, okay, so he pooped twice because he's wearing his outfit that he pooped. Then he should be in his outfit that was in there, right? And then she's like, what, girl, you always confuse me. I have a good one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I'm like, no. Like, I hate when people try to shut me up. I hate that. I'm not a fucking kid. I hate that shit. Don't try to shut me up, especially because I always get that war just because they think like I'm a young mom, that they can just tell me whatever, or just basically tell me to shut up, and that I'm going to take it. I'm not going to take it. Like, I hate that. That freaking grinds my gears so much. I still get it to this day sometimes with my children's teachers and stuff, where I got to let them know, like, no, like, I hate it. Like, I always get like those snobby like remarks and stuff, like, like, don't talk to me like that. I hate it. Don't talk to me like that. That's so disrespectful. So I got that from her because she was a little bit older, but don't. Like, I hated it. So there was other moms there, and I hated how she was just like shushing me up. The other moms were a little bit older, so they would look at me like, oh my God, stop. Like, if I was bugging, you know? So then I was telling her and stuff like, where's his outfit? Is his outfit in here then? And I don't understand why you don't understand what I'm saying. And then she was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm dealing with so much already right now. It's very hectic. I got other moms that are gonna be coming in with their babies and stuff, and it's already your time. Your kid's already clocked out. Why are you still here, Miss Reyes? And I was pissed because I was like, okay, give me the baby's outfit and I'll go. Don't talk to me like that. I'm not a fucking kid. Don't talk to me like that. She's like, your language. I was like, don't language me nothing, because we know how you talk. Don't act like you're brand new. Where's his outfit? And so she started getting all flustered. She like calls the other girl that helps her, and she's like, can you help Miss Reyes find Giovanni's outfit? Help her find his outfit, because she said, I kind of feel like she's insinuating that we want to keep his outfit. And so I hate when people talk like that. Like, don't get crazy. So the other girl, she was so sweet. She was trying to find his outfit. She's like, what does it look like? And I was telling her, it looks like this, it looks like that, you know, telling her. And she was like, okay, just give me 1 second. Maybe we have it in the wash by chance. And she didn't bring it up. I'm like, okay. So I'm getting the other babies, asking them how, you know, their day was. They're goo goo gaga with me because they weren't talking. And so I'm waiting on this outfit. Rudy's in the car, so I'm like loading the babies up, because that's how long it was taking. So I'm like, what the heck? So load the babies up. I tell Rudy I'll be right back. I'm still waiting on the stuff. So the girl comes back and she's like, I'm so sorry, Alexis, like, we don't have it. Is this his by chance? And it's like another little Jordan little outfit. And I'm like, no, that's not his. I was like, you know what, it's fine, because she looked so like she was like exhausted. And I'm like, dang, like she looked pretty exhausted, you know. It has been a long day. And I'm like, damn, like, I am an asshole. Maybe the stepsister was right. Like, there's just not time for it. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, but his stuff should still be with his stuff. Because in the back of my head, I had a feeling that something wasn't adding up. So she was like, only you and what's the other mom? What name are Ashley? Only you and Ashley dress your babies up in Jordan outfits. And I'm like, oh, so are you saying like maybe Ashley took it home or something? She's like, you know what? Maybe we did pack it with Ashley's diaper bag. I'll check tomorrow when you come in and drop the babies off. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I didn't, no big problem. Get in the car. Babe's like, where's the outfit? Because at this point, this kept happening so much. Rudy was already getting irritated. Like, where the heck are their clothes? Like, why every time we dress the babies nice? Because it wasn't just Giovanni's outfits that would go missing. Like, we'd take Andrew in a really nice like Jordan jacket or something, and the Jordan jacket wouldn't be with him. When I go pick him up, they'd be like, oh, we were playing outside, we'll wash it. Like, it was always that. So he was already getting fed up. Don't blame him, because again, it was expensive. So to me, I'm like, okay, that's strike two, because I didn't like how she talked to me. She talked to me like if I was a child. I didn't like that. And just how she was like, what I didn't like that. Other moms looking at me, making me, I just felt stupid, and I was like, don't do that. So I go in the next day really early, because I'm like, I'm gonna go a whole 30 minutes early, because they're not even technically, the kids are not like clocked in until a certain time, right? So I go in early, and I'm like telling her like, oh, hey, I just came so I can get Giovanni's outfits, look for Andrew's jacket and stuff, because we've been missing clothes. And so it wasn't the stepsister who was there yet. She hadn't clocked in yet. And so the mom and the girl that I'm cool with, they're like, oh yeah, like, let's look. Like, I don't know what's happening. Other moms have been saying things too, like a sippy cup goes missing, yada yada yada. So we're like looking and everything, talking, just BSing, whatever. We're like looking for it. We can't find anything. We go into Giovanni's classroom, can't find anything. So then Ashley comes, because Ashley drops off her baby, I guess, around that time. And so Ashley's there. Me and her were like, oh hey. She's like, hey Alexis, what's up? So we're like talking and stuff. At this time, I already like, I'm bringing the babies in because I'm gonna be leaving soon. Didn't find any of the outfits, anything like that. So I'm like, okay, whatever, it's cool. So Ashley gets there. She's like, hey Alexis. I'm like, oh hey girl. Her baby is dressed really cute, all dressed up in Jordan. Me and her are talking. I brought the babies in and stuff because I'm gonna get ready to clock in. I gotta get ready to leave. So me and her are talking. She's asking where I get Giovanni's clothes. I'm telling her like, oh, I get them here, get them at Rosh, get them at Burlington. She's like, me too. And she's like asking me his size. The babies are the same size. So I'm like, oh, what a coincidence. And I already knew in the back of my head, okay, stepsister is giving this girl Giovanni's clothes. So I already knew, like right off the bat. I'm like, all right. As we're talking, and she's like telling me and stuff like, oh yeah, like stepsister gave me this really cute outfit. And she's showing me a picture that she had took of the baby. And I'm looking at the baby's pants. And if you, I don't know, I guess like if you're just like a mom, or if you're not a mom, you're like, yeah, whatever. Giovanni, on these pants, I remember them, it was some black Jordan pants, like joggers. And I remember like I had got them dirty, or I got like a little bit of bleach on them, and so I had like a little like bleach spot, like a little like on it. And so she's like showing me and stuff, like the picture of the baby, and I'm like right away I'm just like looking at the pants because I just noticed. And so as she's showing me, I'm like, oh no, what's this? What is this? What the fuck? That's gonna be a beauty mark. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay. As she's showing me the picture, Ashley, stepsister walks in and she sees us talking, and I just give her a look of like, I know, bitch. I fucking know. I know what the fuck you've been doing. I know. Because it wasn't just like one outfit, you guys. This had happened, like, it took me a while to like, to have caught on like what she was, you know. It took me a while to catch on with the clothes, because sometimes Rudy would take the babies in and sometimes he would pick up the diaper bag. So it took us a while to like kind of catch on, like, hey, where are the outfits going? Where is this going? We're packing clothes. What's going on? The baby wasn't always like came home like with a dirty diaper or like an outfit change or something like that. You know what I mean? So we didn't always have to check the diaper bag. You know what I mean? And we would have to take like the big boxes of diapers, so we didn't have to constantly like be refilling the diaper bag or anything like that. It was just kind of like, oh, if you need it, oh if this, oh if that. But we would have to take a big pack of diapers, a big pack of wipies, and that was theirs for like the whole month. And then we would have to like refill it and stuff, right? I really like this makeup. This makeup looks really good. So I just look at this bitch and I'm like, I know what the fuck you've been doing. Like in my head, I'm like mind fucking her with my eyes, like I know what you've been doing, because Ashley's been telling me like, oh yeah, and like, you know, she's just been spoiling him, like this and that, like she don't even gotta do it, like, you know, like me and the hubby got a good paying job, blah 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 blah, but she's always trying to show off, yada yada yada, she's such a good godmother, da 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 da. And so I was like, oh, that's so cute. I wish I had someone to spoil the babies like that. Like, oh, lucky you. I'm like looking at her, you know, as she's telling me all this stuff, like she's such a good godmother, blah, 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 blah. She can afford her baby clothes, but like she gets baby, like she gets double and stuff. Like she's always dressing up the baby and stuff. She's like, yeah, I'll pick him up. And she has like a whole new outfit for him. Like, da, 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 da. And I'm just like smiling because I'm like, are you in on it too? And like you're just like messing with me, because there's some people like that where like they'll do something intentional or like something sneaky, but then like want to talk and act like they don't know nothing just to see if like if you caught on to anything, you know what I mean? So I was just sitting there listening, looking at Ashley, but she's looking at me, and I'm just like smiling this whole time. And I'm like, strike two, bitch, like strike two. And I don't want to pop off just in case I'm wrong, and my kids like coming here, so I'm like, okay, just like listening. I'm like, So I look at the stepsister, and her sister was over here at the time, so her sister knows what I'm thinking too. And I'm just like, so I look at the stepsister, and she just looks at me, and right away she just has an attitude, like a stink ass attitude, like what and what, you know? But I didn't say nothing. I was like, I packed Giovanni some more clothes, let me know if he needs anything else. And I'm just like smiling. I'm like, have a good day. She's like, yeah, you too. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we leave, and the whole day at work and stuff, I can't even concentrate. We're like selling internet and stuff, and I can't concentrate because I'm like, this girl's like really, really stupid. Like, who does this? And I know she gets paid good because she's like always bragging. Her nails are like always like nice and stuff, not too long, that long enough to like cut the babies or anything like that, but like really nice. She wears really, really nice shoes. And so I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm over here, me and the babe over here like busting our ass. We want our babies to look nice because if we look nice, they look nice. And I'm just like mad, right? So a couple days pass by, I pick up Giovanni, he's in his clothes. So I'm like, okay, like there's nothing to worry about. There's a little like, you know, attitude here and there. Sometimes I go in a little bit early. Sometimes Giovanni's just like by himself, but like there's like, you know, one of the people who are supposed to be watching them like right there close by. They don't like not right there on them, but they're like a little bit close by, where I'm like, is it because you just heard me? So at this point I'm already getting agitated. I don't even like leaving the kids anymore. Like, it's just, I'm just like getting worked up, and I'm so tired of this girl always having attitude. So they started this new policy where like you couldn't come early than like what you need to drop the babies off. So you remember how I would go in like 30 minutes early, kind of talk bullshit, whatever, check everything out. They weren't watching my kids when I was going that early or whatever. And so now they're making a new policy where you couldn't do that. You couldn't just like drop in anymore. You couldn't like just enter your PIN and just walk in. Someone had to buzz you in. Like, they were just changing all kinds of stuff. And so I'm like thinking like, like I wonder why. Like, I wonder what's going on. And so there was one day I go in, I'm talking to this other mom, and I could hear it in her voice that she was just like agitated with, you know, the stepsister. She was like, I always pack him clothes and I never get them back. Like, I'm getting to the point where I'm not just cute anymore. Like, hand-me-downs, like the ones that are just, I don't care if they get lost or whatever. And she was like telling me like we shouldn't have to like, you know, pack the ugly clothes because we won't get back our nice clothes. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that's been happening to you too. She's like, yeah, like I put him in a really cute like Calvin Klein onesie and I won't get it back, or a Tommy Hilfiger and I won't get it back. She's like, oh, and then we talk about his like Chuck shoes. So I'm like, man, this girl's over here just like taking all the baby clothes, stunting on Ashley's baby, like, you know, trying to look like the cool like godmother, Thea, whatever. So I'm like, I'm just like getting annoyed like as I'm hearing it, because I'm like, dude, me too, me too, me too. And so remember I told you about the diapers where we had to get like the diapers, it would last for that full month. Well, all of a sudden now Giovanni's out of it 1 week in, and I'm like, that just don't make no sense. So she was like, yeah, he's been going restroom a lot, and sometimes the other staff will be grabbing as well, so he's gonna need more diapers, he's gonna need more wipes. I'm like, diapers and wipes, if you guys see the big ass packs, we get them from Sam's Club, there's no way in hell he finished them in a week. So I'm like going back and forth with her. She has an attitude, and she was like, so either you do it or not, because then he's not going to be changed. I'm like, what do you mean he's not going to be changed? Like, we're paying you to change him, to watch him. So we're going back and forth over just petty stuff. She has an attitude, and she's like, he already ran out. I don't know what to tell you. She's like, you were complaining because we weren't changing him enough, and now that we're changing him, now you don't want to replace the diapers, blah, blah, blah. If you want to dip into our diapers, it's going to be more than it would cost you to just go get them yourself. And we're just like going back and forth. This other mom hears me. She's like, what the fuck? Like, that is crazy. So I'm just like, what the fuck is this bitch? I'm like, so I tell her, like, are you giving away the diapers too? And she's like, what are you implying? And like, I tell her, like, my baby's clothes are missing. I haven't got them back yet. I still haven't got the outfit that you said that was washing, or it's in the bag. The rest's outfit is still missing. The jacket's still missing. And Henika's jacket is still missing. So are you taking the diapers too? Or are you giving them to Ashley? She's like, oh my God. Oh my God. You're crazy. She's like, you're crazy. I'm not gonna, you're crazy. And she just like walks away, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I talked to her sister, because I'm cool with her sister, and I'm like, hey, like, something's up. Like, something's up, and she's catching an attitude way too much now, where like I can't even talk to her right without me just wanting to like pop off and talk to her, because it's just making me mad. And so I'm like, I'm gonna probably have to look for somewhere else, because it's just too much. I still haven't got the kids' outfits back, and it's way too much. Now she's saying that I have to get more diapers and wipes, and it's not even, the month is not even over yet. And so she's telling me like, what? That doesn't make sense about the diaper thing. She's like, let me fix that. What size is he? And I'm like, he's this size. She's like, okay, let me go and look at that. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Maybe she's getting the charts mixed up. I'm like, okay. So I go to work. I'm pissed off the whole time. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take some time off work. I let the job know, like, hey, I'm gonna need some time off. There's like some crazy stuff happening with like the daycare, babysitter. I'm frustrated. I don't feel comfortable leaving the babies there. I just feel like something is in my gut. I'm like, I feel something in my panza. So I'm gonna need some time off. And they're like, okay, cool, whatever. Take your time off. So I take the time off. I go pick up the babies, and I let her know, like, hey, like, I'm not gonna take the babies from this day to this day. I'm just gonna spend some time with them. Right away, the friend of mine who works there, she's like, don't go anywhere else. Don't take this time to go look anywhere else. Already situated it. She got confused with the diapers and wipes. You're right. You don't have to get any until next month. You're cool on that. And we're looking for Giovanni's outfits along with the other moms. Like, I'm hearing the complaints. Don't even worry about it. And I already talked to her about her attitude. I got you. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm just talking to her, not even talking to stepsister, because I'm like, bitch. And she just gave me this stink eye from the side, just like, ugh, just stank eye. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I get the kids. She's like, have a good one. I'm like, okay, you too. Don't even look at her, because I'm like, okay, you too, whatever. So we're walking. Remember I told you there's this fish tank, right? I'm walking. She goes by me, and she could have waited. She could have waited me. She could have waited. So she kind of like just brushes up against me, and I kind of like hit the fish tank. She's like, whoa, be careful. If you knock that down, you guys are paying for it. And I'm like, okay, well then you be careful. Don't push me into shit. And so I'm walking out. She doesn't say anything. And then she tells her sister and stuff like, that girl always has a fucking attitude. And I just sigh really loud. I'm like, oh, okay. So go home, have a good week, spend time with the babies and stuff. I don't look into any of the daycares. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, maybe me taking this time, maybe they'll know like I'm serious and stuff. I'm gonna pull them, whatever, because I have 4 kids. That's a lot of kids. So that weekend I hang out with some friends. We're just having a good time, talking about stepsister, and they're like, yeah, she was like telling us about her job and everything, that like there's this bitch that's always complaining, and that she's like always thinking that like someone's taking her kids' clothes. Nobody wants her raggedy ass kids' clothes, da 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 da. I hate when people talk about other people's kids. Like, what do you mean raggedy ass kids? So right away I'm like, who the fuck? Like, who the fuck talks about kids like that? Like, who are you? Who raised you? Like, I hate that shit. So the more I'm listening, I'm like, wait, because I'm like, at first I thought she was talking about the other mom, because the other mom too, remember, she was saying that like her clothes were going missing stuff. So at first I thought she was talking about her. So I was listening, but I wasn't listening hard. So I was just listening, and then I hear she was like, yeah, and then this bitch wants to just, you know, always be pressing her and telling her this and that, and bitch can't even afford nice shoes, over here wearing Skechers and shit. Okay, that has been like the longest joke, because when I got with Rudy, I love Skechers. I love Skechers. I don't give a fuck. People always want to be like, oh, why you wear this? Why you wear it? Because I like it. It feels comfortable. I like it, and that's it. Shut the fuck up. That's what I like. So when I heard that, I'm like, bitch, I wear Skechers. So I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch? And then my friend was like, I don't know. I didn't get her name. Like, she's just talking to us. I don't sit there and ask her who, what, when, why. I'm like, well, no, duh, bitch. I'm like, she's talking about her. I always get more details. Like, I don't know. People just talk and they want to just be like, oh, yeah, this and that. Or they're very, very simple the way they talk. Me, when I talk, I like to give you a whole plan out. Who's this? Who's that? What they're feeling? How they're wearing? This, that, how they look. Didn't I tell you she likes getting her nails done? Didn't I tell you that she likes dressing nice? Didn't I tell you this and that? I did, right? Okay, so I give you more details. I hate when I hear other people talk or they tell me something and they don't give enough details. And I'm like, how do you talk? That must be one dry ass freaking conversation. Like, who talks like that? Like, I hate that. I hate when someone wants to tell me a story and they're just like, yeah, and that's that. What do you mean that's that? That's so, I don't even waste my time then. Like, it's just, so I'm just annoyed. I'm like, you didn't get any more details? And she's like, no, bitch, why? And so I'm getting mad because my bitch is talking about me. She's like, no, she's not. I'm like, yes, the fuck she is. Yes, the fuck she is. My butt does are all dirty. I wear Skechers, bitch. I'm like, I wear Skechers, bitch. And so she was like, oh, she's like, she probably is. So we start talking, we start getting things together, and she's like, oh my god, because I would vent to her, Giovanni's outfits are missing, and I would like talk to her. I'm like, you didn't put 2 and 2 together? She's like, I really didn't, dude. I really didn't. I'm like, because you never be listening. So I'm like mad at her because I'm like, what the fuck? So she's like telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, just listening. And so this girl's over here telling my friend like, oh yeah, like, she thinks that we're stealing her kid's stuff and stuff, and she called my kid a raggedy ass kid, right? So that pissed me off, okay? That pissed me the fuck off. So I just wanted to go and like start typing and like writing her right away, like, fuck you, bitch. When I see you, it's on site. But no, I was like, okay. I just kept my composure, and I'm like, hey, like, are you cool if I tell her that what you told me? She's like, go ahead, I don't give a fuck, tell her. I'll go with you. We'll tell her together. And I'm like, oh, nah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I call the place and I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna be taking the kids today, but I do want to go in and I want to get the rest of their stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, like, that's fine. We found a couple of items, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go in. No kids are there yet because I'm going in early, okay? No kids are there yet. I go in, I talk to the sister. Me and the sister are cool. I'm like, okay, cool. She found some socks. She found like a shirt that she thought was Giovanni's. I'm like, no, that's not Gio's. And then I'm like talking to her and stuff, and then I hear Ashley. And I hear, who the fuck is here? Remember, we changed the policy. We got to stick to it because then these people are walking all over us. Loud as hell. And I'm just like, it's me. I'm here to get Giovanni's stuff and Andres' jacket. Because they ended up they did find Angelica's jacket, but it was like all written over and stuff, like with marker and everything. I was pissed. So yeah, anyways, I forgot to tell you guys. So when stepsister was telling my friend and stuff, she's like, oh, that bitch is like gonna whoop her fucking ass. She's like, I would want to put my hands on her, but I know my sister will fire me. Like, my sister's so tired of my shit, blah, 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 blah. She's like, you know, I just be getting in these moods, blah, 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 blah. But that bitch is lucky because I would fucking handle her. Oh, if I see her, this, they, blah, blah, blah. I guess I'll be back. Okay, so I put on a show. I did my hair for y'all. What you think? So I put on a show for her, and hopefully I can finish. So pretty much she was just telling the friend stuff like, oh, she's so lucky. I haven't been able to like whoop her ass and stuff. Like, oh, if I see her on the streets and stuff, I'd whoop her ass, blah, blah, blah. Basically just telling her that she would whoop my ass because I irritate her that freaking much. So, okay, whatever. So I went to go pick up the kids' stuff. Pretty much like I'm done with this place because I'm like, you know what? Something is just bound to happen. We're probably gonna there's so much tension, and I already know that she's over here giving Ashley my baby stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just fed up. So I call them, let them know like, hey, I'm gonna go and get like their stuff and everything. I don't tell them like just yet that like I'm completely done, whatever. So I go get the stuff. Stepsister says a stupid ass shit, whatever, and I'm like, I'm just here to get my kids stuff. So they would give back Angelica's sweater, but like it was written all over. They're like, oh yeah, the kids got a hold of it, blah 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 blah. Just excuses. I think she purposely ruined it just to like irritate the hell out of me. So she's like, oh my god, here we go again. She's like, you know what? Bring in your kids. Dress nice to a daycare and stuff, like expect things to get lost, expect things to get blah 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 blah. It's just like taking them to school, sometimes they're gonna lose something, blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what, it's different though. When you take them to school, you expect other little kids to like maybe like steal a jacket or something like that, but when you're taking them to like a daycare, you expect to get it back. I was like, well, you know what, you're working at daycare, you expect to like get the stuff back because my grown-ups are handling the babies. Like, I don't know, to me it's just like it's like, you guys don't even gotta wash the baby's clothes. They shit, put it in a bag, wrap it up like you do, shove it in my diaper bag. That's it. It's not complicated. I don't understand. So we're going back and forth, yelling at each other because she like raised her voice. I'm at this point where I'm pissed because she's calling me out of my name. I'm mad, and even talking about it like still gets me hot. And so she was like telling me and stuff like, oh yeah, and I don't appreciate you over there gossiping with the other moms. And I was like, bitch, ain't no one gossiping about you. I overheard her complaining about you. I listened. I said, She's like, and then you're over there asking Ashley to show you pictures and stuff of the kids and blah, blah. I'm like, nope. Ashley just wanted to show me. I don't know. I have this, and I don't mean to brag, but I have this thing about me where people feel really, really comfortable and they open up. Like they literally open up. And I've had people tell me on multiple occasions, like, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but, and they just go and tell me. So I just have this about me, and I think it's really, really cool. So I was like, bitch, fuck you. And we're like both going back and forth because she's like, no, swearing. She's like, and nobody wants your babies. Those raggedy ass clothes from those raggedy ass babies. And that's what set me off. Because you're not gonna talk about my kid. You're not gonna talk about my kid. My babies are beautiful. You ain't gonna talk about my kid. So I'm like, bitch, fuck you. So we start getting like we just start going at it. And we're like literally like in each other's face like this. Her sister's in the middle. She's like telling her like, hey, quit. She's like, quit. And Steph says, she's like, I'll beat her ass and you know it. I'll mop the floor with her. And I'm like, mop me, bitch. Mop me. I'm ready. Mop me. Get me. Like, I'm mad because I hate when people do that. When they bark. They're like fucking chihuahuas just barking. You ever just want to hit somebody so bad because you're so mad at them that you can't even touch them? Well, I hope you don't, because I just hope you just like whoop their ass. But anyways, we were just at that point where we're just like, we're just like yelling at each other. And thank goodness there's no kids around. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have popped up like that. There was any kids around. Thank goodness there wasn't. So we are just going at each other. Sister's in the middle, mom's in the back, and she's like, déjalas, just let them go at it. Like, let them go at it. Because I'm already at this point where like I'm cool with the mom, cool with the sister, and she's giving the approval of just take care of it. Like, just do it already. Do it. So we're just like screaming at each other. I'm pissed because of what she's saying. At this point, we're like yelling at each other. This is our head, okay? We're yelling at each other, and I get this close where I go like that, and I'm just like, because I'm just like, you're not gonna talk about my babies like that. So we're just like swearing. I want to go like that. I see. Oh no. Freaking bun. So sister's in the middle. She's like, come on, you guys, like, quit. Come on, quit. And then I'm like, nah, like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I'm not bringing them here anymore. She's disrespectful. She's not professional at all. She got a mouth on her. I'm tired of it. I'm done. We're like yelling at each other. She leaves. I'm like, okay, whatever. So sister, I'm like signing stuff. I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, I know, like, I apologize. Like, I completely understand. Blah, blah, blah. We'll give you a discount. Da, 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 da. I'm like, whatever. So I'm like just signing stuff. Then the sister comes. And this is diaper, and she just goes like that, and she's just like throwing the diaper, like, here, bitch, and take this and take that, and just like swearing at me, and it just like hitting whatever. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm signing it, and the mom's telling her like, quit. She's like, quit, because she's gonna hit you back, and you're gonna be crying. Quit. And she's like, mom, don't be talking shit. She's like, God, you know I can mop her, blah, blah, blah. I hate when people do that. Like, if your own mom is telling you to quit because you can't handle it, quit, because that should just be your warning. Like, your mom already knows. Like, obviously you can't handle it. Like, quit. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, like, she ain't really about it. This is a little chihuahua that I'm dealing with. I'm gonna let her get close enough. So as she gets close enough, I'm just gonna get her. So she starts noticing that, like, I'm not doing anything. She's like, you see, she's like, she ain't doing nothing. And she's throwing these diapers at me. And her sister's calling her by her name. Like, you know when your family member calls you by your full name, like, you're supposed to just stop. But she's doing that. And she's like, yeah, stop. And I'm like, no, like, it's good. And she's like, no, fuck this bitch. I'm tired of her shit, blah, 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 blah. And she's just like swearing at me. And I'm like, okay, dude, like, whatever. She gets close enough, and I just turn around. And as soon as like I turn around, I'm not gonna even hit her. I just turn around with her like that. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. Shut the fuck up. Like, I hate when people do that. When they act like they're so freaking tough, and then like you make them flinch, and it's just like, okay, that right there, like, that's embarrassing. That's enough. That's enough for me. I'm satisfied now. So I'm walking, and as I'm walking out, remember this door, it like has like a lock on it where it's like you have to buzz in to buzz out. So it's like pretty heavy, pretty sturdy. So I'm walking out and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like telling the sister, I'm like, she's like, we still got your coffee, girl. I'm like, yeah, we're still good. Like the freaking stepsister's still popping off. I'm like, dude, like whatever. She's still throwing my fucking diapers, and her sister was like, dude, like we're like discount, like she like pretty much telling me like, I got you on that, like I'm so sorry. The mom was like, nothing is written, just like swearing at her. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like going to the door. The door's right here, right? So the sister was like, oh shit, she's like, here, Lex, and she's going to give me the paper. Okay, I'm going to the paper, and this fucking bitch slams the fucking door on my hand, and my hand goes like this. Like, have you ever hit something so bad and like, ugh, like your teeth closed? I was like, oh, it's like boom. I just went through that thing, opened it. Oh, I kicked that fucking door, and we just go at it. I'm like, no, bitch. And I'm just start fucking hitting her. I'm like, I was so pissed. I was livid because it was just like, And the whole time, her sister's like, that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted, huh? That's what you fucking wanted. Like yelling at her sister and stuff. And her sister and like me are just like going. And she's pulling my hair. Like she's pulling the shit out of my hair. And I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I don't care. Like, I know some people get mad like, oh, hair pulling, whatever. I don't care. Like, it's a fight, going at it, whatever. Always defend yourself. She knew what she was doing when she fucking when she slammed that door. When it hit my hair and I went like that, ooh, it was just like something lit under my ass, and we just, ooh. So I was just pissed. Like, all I remember is just going like I just felt so cool, just kicking down the door, and I just like went for her, and we were just like going at it. She kept pulling my hair, and I just like ran my hand through her hair and just fucking cut back, and just boom. Like, it was just getting her. I was just so mad because I was like tired of it. The mom didn't break us up or anything like that, because the mom was like, just get it done with, get it, you know. From the beginning, the sister was like, ya te dije, like that's what you wanted, and so we're still just like, you know, just like, it felt like forever, but like honestly it was probably like a minute. So we're just like going. She's like pulling my hair. She's like, fuck you, bitch. She's like, I did take his shit. What you gonna do? And I was like, I fucking knew it, bitch. Like, I'm just fucking hitting her, and we're just fighting. And she's like kicking me. We start hitting the fish tank, because there's a fish tank. Oh my gosh. We start hitting the fish tank. She's like slamming me at the fish tank, and I'm like pissed. And her mom's like, the fish tank. We hit the fish tank, and it falls over, and we're soaked. Like, we're literally soaked, and it's her fault. The glass that cut me, I had like a scar, like a little baby scar, and I was just pissed. I was just mad because I was like, oh hell no. Like, the audacity of this freaking girl was crazy. Like, I don't know what her problem was, but I wasn't having it. We were going at it. Once the fish tank, like, we dropped it, we broke it, that was it. Like, we didn't say anything else. I was just pissed. It wasn't like, I'm done, bitch. Like, it was just none of that. It was just like, we just looked on the floor. I looked up. The mom just went like that, nodded her head, because she knew. Like, she even knew, like, it was her daughter's fault. Like, my bad. Like, I didn't even apologize to nobody, because I had nothing to apologize for at all. Did I feel bad? Yes, I did. I felt extremely bad. But at the same time, like, this little, well, she wasn't even little. She was grown as fuck. Had no business coming at me the way she did. And then for her to admit, like, I was taking your son. I was doing it, bitch. And what? So I was just tired of it. I was done. And honestly, I feel like I handled it perfectly, because she had me fucked up, because it hurt so bad. I feel like till this day, like, my freaking arm hurts sometimes. Like, it tenses up. Like, it was just, I was just done. I went home. I was talking babe, and I was like, that's it. They're not going to daycare no more. It's either you work, I work, whatever, but we're never taking them to daycare anymore, or whatever the heck that was. Like, we're not ever doing it again. And Rudy was like pissed. He was like, oh, hell no. Like, it was just super intense. And I remember just like it was just like one of those things where, like, you could not believe it happened, and like how quickly it happened. I was just like, oh my god. Like, it was just like, like I wish I had like a camera, like you know, like the like a best camera or something, just or like I just wish like we had cameras in our eyeballs so like I could show you guys, because like in my head I probably thought like it was cooler than what it actually was. It probably was just like a bunch of like fishes flopping, but it was pretty intense. Yeah, that's it. I'm all proud and I'm like, oh yeah. But never allow someone to put their hands on you, to disrespect you. I don't condone violence at all, but when you have to defend yourself, then you defend yourself, because I feel like people really nowadays think that like it's okay for them to lay hands on you and you're just gonna sit there and take it. But no, because she was throwing the diapers at me, she was throwing the wipes, and a pack of wipes is freaking hard, you guys. Like she was just doing it. I should have whipped her ass then, but because I probably, my arm probably would have got hurt, you know what I mean? But just imagine like just like the wipes and like take this bitch, this bitch, this bitch, and just like she was just so upset because she felt guilty. And I bet you like it's like one of those things like when a little kid gets caught and they just start like freaking out and like just start screaming and like just like like throwing like a temper tantrum and stuff. Like it was like that. Pretty much like that, like a kid getting caught throwing a temper tantrum and just like trying to make you feel like, oh my god, you're right. It was me and sister still kick it till this day. We're still cool. She was just like, you know what, I'm glad it happened, because she's always running her mouth and she's always getting crazy with people, making people cry, and she's always making people just be like, I'm sorry. She's like, you're like the only person that actually was like, come on, let's go. I'm like, good. And I guess she, like after that she was like wasn't even like getting crazy anymore. She was just like, okay, whatever. And sometimes that's what somebody needs. Somebody actually needs for someone to be like, okay, and what's up, you know what I mean? And it sucks that people need that, but oh well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you guys did, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe if you guys haven't already, to keep up with my videos. And if you guys want more story times, let me know. I will do more for you. If you guys want the catfish video, let me know. I will do that one as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Te quiero mucho. Besos a todos. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.